sushi is created equal. While you can easily buy cheap, prepackaged sushi at a gas station, though I don't recommend it, you can also pay $500 just to book a reservation at Ginza's famous Sushi Sawada. While it's common knowledge that sushi comes from Japan, there's more to its story than just its country of origin. So how and why was sushi invented? Why did early sushi take so long to make? Was it made for the upper class or working class? And what does an osprey have to do with the origins of sushi? Stay tuned to find out as we maki like sushi and roll cameras. Sorry, that was bad. Please keep watching. The sushi you know today didn't exist until the 19th century, but it's rooted in an ancient practice. A 4th century Chinese dictionary describes a salted fish left in cooked rice, forcing it to ferment. But why pickle fish? Because it slows bacterial growth, making it last longer. Fermentation existed centuries before sushi was invented, but the Japanese were the first to eat fermented rice and fish together. That early sushi is known as Narazushi, and it's a far cry from the California roll. The first known type of Narazushi was called Funazushi, typically made with Nagorobuna, a kind of carp. It was created over 1,000 years ago near Lake Biwa, Japan's largest freshwater lake, just north of Kyoto. Carp caught from the lake were packed into pots of salted rice and compacted under large stones. The weight sped up the fermentation process, but it still took up to a year. Because it took so long to create Narazushi, it was only available to Japan's upper class for many years. But that eventually changed. In the 15th century, cooks began adding more weight on top of the fish and rice, reducing the fermentation time to just 1 month. They also realized that raw pickled fish tastes just as good as fully fermented fish. So they introduced Mama Narazushi, or raw Narazushi. The 19th century brought a new capital for Japan, Edo. There, the cooks used a different fermentation process by placing cooked rice seasoned with rice vinegar beside a layer of fish. The layers were compressed in a small wooden box for 2 hours. When ready, it got sliced and served. Not quite a spicy tuna roll, but we're getting there. In the 1820s, sushi changed forever. A cook named Hanaya Yohei decided to shake things up. He faced impatient customers who didn't want to wait for the fish to ferment. So instead of fermenting the fish for 2 hours, he hand-pressed a slice of freshly caught raw fish into a ball of short-grain white rice mixed with vinegar. It became so popular in Edo that he opened the first sushi stall and is widely considered the creator of nigiri sushi. In 1868, Edo was renamed Tokyo. By the 1920s, there were hundreds of sushi carts around the city. Sushi was popular with the working class because it was fast, delicious, and cheap, the 3 pillars of street food. And since the fish was served raw and eaten right away, cooks didn't have to deal with the challenge of fermentation. Then, after the Great Kanto earthquake hit in 1923 and devastated Japan, land prices dropped. This led to the emergence of the sushi-ya, or indoor sushi restaurant. By the 1950s, sushi carts and stalls gave way to indoor sit-down environments. Finally, the beloved sushi bar was born. North America's first sushi restaurant opened in Los Angeles in 1966. And in 1970, a sushi bar opened in Hollywood that catered to celebrities. Soon after, sushi bars opened in New York, Chicago, and beyond. Now, the most common types of sushi are the classic nigiri, which is fish served on top of sushi rice. Sashimi is raw fish served by itself. The ever-popular maki is rice filled with various seafood and vegetables. Then it's wrapped in seaweed and cut into medallions. Uramaki has seaweed on the inside and rice on the outside. And tamaki is a type of hand-rolled sushi shaped like an ice cream cone. Though people across the globe will pay top dollar for sushi, it's important to remember its humble beginnings. An ancient Japanese story tells of an elderly woman who, fearing her rice would be stolen, hid it in osprey nests. Eventually, the rice fermented along with the scraps of fish left behind by the osprey. She apparently enjoyed this tasty combination, thanks in part to the osprey, which supposedly led to the creation of Narazushi. From folklore to street carts to Michelin-starred restaurants, sushi has come a long way. But if you want to try the traditional fermented Funazushi, you still can. Just head over to Lake Biwa, where you'll find cooks preparing the year-long fermented fish the good old-fashioned way. If you found this story interesting and appetizing, maybe you'd like to learn about another famous fermented food. I'm talking about tofu, and you can find out all about it in another episode of Origins of Food.